Hello, I'm gonna go over the MLB PrizePicks slate for Wednesday, June 1st. For May 31st to last night, we did okay. Better than how we did on Monday. But Gossman, that was just a really weird one. If you guys played that pitches thrown, that one did hit, but it was really weird because the White Sox were just missing half of their lineup. And over half of their lineup, they had so many guys: Tim Harrison, Yohan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, AJ Pollock. They're all out, so they're putting up just a very weak lineup. But somehow Gossman just had his worst start of the season, so that's that. But hopefully today we can definitely deliver all the locks as wins, and let's get right into it. First inning runs allowed. There's one, and that's gonna be Marlins and Rockies. Talked about this yesterday, but did note that it could PPD, and it did. So today they're going to be playing a doubleheader. There is only game one up right now, and we don't have confirmation of who the Marlins starter is, but Coors Field, so it's going to be an over. I'm never going to take an under on a Coors Field first inning run prop. So yes, runs first inning, and it should be Antonio Senzatella for the Rockies, which I will be gladly attacking. I think the Marlins can definitely score, but of course, if the Marlins are going to pitch someone who isn't that great, then it certainly is nice to also have the Rockies be able to put some runs up too. But right now, not going to have it as a lock just because we don't know who the Marlins pitcher is. And then for strikeouts, so there are two. First one's going to be Justin Verlander at 6. Over on this one against the A's. Looking at the A's against right-handed pitching, they strike out the 9th most at 24.1% this year. Verlander, he is 39 years old now, so he's getting old, but he just knows how to pitch. Last start, he had his worst start of the season against the Mariners away, but this is going to be in Oakland, a very pitcher's ballpark, pitcher-friendly ballpark, and Verlander, even though he had a tough start last time, he still got 6 strikeouts. He's always going to throw close or over 100 pitches, so there's always the security of that. And Christian Javier only went 4 on Tuesday, so they definitely want Verlander to be able to go probably at least 6 innings in this one. And I think when you're throwing close to 100 pitches against the Oakland A's lineup like this, he can at least push for 6 strikeouts if you want. I think fantasy score is okay, but I'm kind of liking the strikeouts more just in case, he's giving up some runs. So that's why I'm going with the 6 Ks. And then the second K prop is Michael Kopech at 4.5. I think this is just a little low. He should probably be at 5. If it's at 5, I don't really want it because it's just not a win anymore then. He's going to have to get 6, and that 0.5 is really important. For Kopech, initially in the start of the year, he was kind of being treated with kid gloves. He wasn't really going that deep. Now he's kind of at least throwing 90 pitches every game, so that's good to see. Toronto, they do kind of strike out. Like, they were pretty low in Ks, but they're 17th, 22.1%, which isn't like really that low. And Kopech, for his strikeouts, he's in the 60th percentile for K percentile, or K percent. And then it is a 24.2 K percent to be exact. And he's got good numbers. This is a tough Blue Jays lineup, but they have been striking out a little bit more than usual. And looking at what he's been doing, remember, he's pitching a little bit more, pitching deeper, at least pitches thrown. Some of these games also going to 6+, so that's really good to see. And Blue Jays, they do strike out. The Yankees this year, they actually haven't been striking out that much, so I think 4.5 is definitely a good number to take the over. I think I kind of like this prop the most right now for this video. So this is going to be my favorite prop of the day. And then pitches thrown, I have one, and that is Hyun-Jin Ryu at 74.5. This one is going to be an over. He is at 73.5 on underdog if you play over there. So one pitch better, but I'm still going to take this one on PrizePicks. He left his last start with, I think it was elbow tightness, and it was his 3rd start back, so they were trying to slowly ramp him up. 71, 78 pitches the 2 starts before that. I think he only got to 61, but he did reach 5 innings, and I would think that if he's okay, because he's going to be making this start, he probably should be able to go 78+, because he did that 2 starts ago. And this White Sox team, again, they are going to be just hammered with injuries. So they have a very good, they just have really good numbers against left-handed pitching right here. They have a 120 WRC plus. But remember, this White Sox lineup, they should be able to get Luis Robert back. But they just lost Tim Anderson. They still have a ton of injuries. Pretty much half their lineup is still going to be out today. And obviously that's not going to be this White Sox team that we see right here. So it's going to be a weaker one, and we're taking a pitcher's thrown prop. We're not taking fantasy points. So, yeah, he's going to have to face a lot of righties, but this is strictly pitches thrown, and I think he can definitely go over that. Seems like a little bit low for a starting pitcher. Pitching at home, so that's always a plus for Ryu. On to hitting. So total bases, I got one, and that's going to be Ty France at 1.5. I like this one over because his fantasy point prop is at 8.5, and I just think it's so much better when you're getting someone who does not steal. He's really slow, but he swings a very good bat, and because he doesn't have that stolen base ability, you probably want something to do with just purely hitting, and his walk rate isn't that high either, so I think you want a total bases prop, because if he doubles or he gets 2 singles, that's not enough to cover 8.5. This is a very good spot for the Mariners against Kyle Bradish. Bradish has reverse splits so far. Ty France also having reverse splits, which is kind of weird because he's always been a guy that's hit better against lefties, but that's the case. So kind of the two sides match up here. Baltimore, their ballpark isn't as great against for righties this year because they moved fences back, but still, this is a very good Seattle offense today because of the Orioles pitching staff that they're going to be taking on, and they should be in play for a lot of runs. Ty France usually hitting second. Julio Rodriguez batting behind. Jesse Winker leading off now, so should be pretty good for Ty France to kind of just continue whatever, the run that the Mariners are on. They were able to put up a lot of runs on Tuesday. And then for hits and walks, so Manny Machado at 1.5 over as well. This one, that is going to be against Dakota Hudson. Dakota Hudson, he walks a ton of guys, and he's just not a great pitcher. He's probably been one of the luckiest pitchers so far in the majors. You look at this, it's so much blue. But for some reason, he only has a 3.22 ERA. That's going to just drop. And hard hit rate, expected batting average, everything. It looks really bad, but the numbers, the results haven't been there, but it is going to happen. And Manny Machado, he was ejected on Tuesday, so there's definitely a little bit, probably more of a motivation, I guess you can give to Machado here. With a high walk rate in Hudson, high walk rate in Machado, that definitely sets up well for Machado to get a walk. And I like that because his projection's at 8. So if he walks, it's only 2. He definitely get a hit against the Cardinals, who pretty much have an average bullpen. And Machado, he hits righties, lefties just fine. So it's totally fine that he's facing off against a righty in Hudson. He's just not really good. Got to take advantage of that. And then the next one is DJ LeMahieu, also 1.5 hits and walks, and the over. So the Yankees are going to be taking on Reed Detmers. Detmers is not a great pitcher. He got a no-hitter, but if you look at what he did, he got 2 strikeouts that game. His numbers just aren't that great right now. He's a young guy. He's going to improve, but for what he is right now, he's just not that great. And going into Yankee Stadium is going to be no easy task. DJ LeMahieu, just a stud against lefties, and Detmers, you can expect him to definitely give up a lot better numbers towards right-handed hitters. That's just what he's been doing. You can see, he's better this year, but because he had a no-hitter in there. But since then, he's really nothing special. He also doesn't really go deep into games, aside from no-hitter, obviously, and he allows power. So that's another thing about Detmers, and he does walk guys. And then you look at LeMahieu's numbers. He mashes lefties. He has a decent walk rate, and if it would load the game for today, that's one thing that I need to mention. The weather, hopefully this one does play, but again, Yankee Stadium, 4.9 runs. Angels bullpen, not particularly great. And LeMahieu, 52 percentile in walks. Walks close to, it actually is over. Or not, that was the wrong number. 8.3 walk rate. So, pretty good. And then his splits, just lefties 375, righties 204. So, hitting lefties extremely well this year. And that's just what he's been doing. So far, I mean, him and when he was on the course in Colorado, him, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, all those guys, they were just destroying lefties. Now, I actually have an under for hits and walks, and that is going to be Ji-Man Choi at 1.5. So John Gray, he usually will walk like a batter or two, and Ji-Man Choi walks a ton. But the thing for Choi is that he does not really bat against left-handed pitching. And John Gray, sure, he's going to probably get 2, maybe 3 at-bats against Gray, but he will be pinch hit for. And this is kind of similar to the Giants, where the Rays, they will platoon. And Choi's definitely going to be the first guy out when a lefty comes in, if he's going to be batting. They'll like pinch hit Harold Ramirez or someone for him. And if you're taking a 1.5 hits and walks prop, and if you get 2 at-bats, then you need him to get on base both times. Probably he can get to 3 because he usually will bat like 3rd or 4th maybe, but still, if he gets 3 at-bats, he needs to do it twice. That is difficult to do. John Gray, not an amazing pitcher, but also not particularly like bad. And just again, if you have a pinch hit risk there, he can also, maybe he gets on or something, pinch ran, whatever it is. So it definitely seems like there's some value here when talking about a guy that could not play the whole game. So that's why I do like the under. And another thing is the Rangers, their bullpen, they have a ton of left-handed arms. So they definitely should be putting in at least 1 or 2 of those lefties, and that just automatically means he's going to be out. The Rays have been leading off Kevin Kiermaier. So I think projected lineup, they have Choi batting 3rd. Obviously the Rays, they do mix up their lineup. But if you have an inning where Kiermaier leads off, 2 lefties in an inning, if it's like the 6th inning, Gray's gone. They're putting in a lefty. And you're going to see pinch hitters come out. So, that definitely would be very in our favor. And then for runs and RBIs prop, I got 1, and I kind of like this one. Whit Merrifield, 0.5. Runs and RBIs. So taking on Connor Pilkington. He's not supposed to be that great of a pitcher. They have a 4.2 run total, which isn't like bad or which isn't good either. But Whit Merrifield, we know what he does. He's a leadoff hitter. He's been playing better as of late. Benintendi, he's been swinging well against lefties. Bobby Witt playing better. They have Salvador Perez back. And, Witt, he definitely plays better against lefties. He's going to be able to get on base, hopefully, at least one steal, possibly. And he just has the guys behind him to drive him in. And even, like, at the bottom of the order, Nicky Lopez does get on base. So he could possibly have an RBI opportunity. And then this prop hits that way. So I think Merrifield, out of these runs and RBIs prop, he's going to be my favorite. I think the spot and the fact that he's leading off, that's what I like him. For Profar, because I don't like Dakota Hudson. Profar's been leading off. He is a switcher, batting better against righties. So maybe, but I just like Witt. If I do end up on Profar because something changes or whatever, in addition to all the props that they're going to add later, because I do have some in mind that hopefully they will offer like a Dakota Hudson walk prop, like 1.5. I'll take the over on that if it is available, but just going to have to wait and see. We have a lot of morning games today, so I'm not sure if I can get an update out on Twitter for these props, but definitely should be able to get one out for the afternoon games. But a lot to keep in track. We will have more props added to the board, as well as some possible postponements, pitchers we don't know who's going to start for these games, so a lot more to monitor. So that is it for the video, guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, and make sure you do check out my Twitter, link in the description below. That is where I do post all the updates and the final plays. So good luck on the slate, and I'll see you in the next video.